It is a super crazy time right now that we are in. It seems like every single week there's like something else happening. A new set releasing or leaks for a new set, and they just dropped the Mega Dream Secret Rares last night. There's usually like a standout card in a set where I'm like, there it is. That right there, that's my chase. That's the one that I want more than anything else. I don't see that with Mega Dream. I see like, I don't know, 7 or 8 cards that I really want, that I would be super happy to pull. Mega Dream looks phenomenal. I'm really excited about it. I'm glad that the market in general is starting to heal a little bit. Like you can see, prices starting to correct, prices starting to go down. We're going to talk about that today in Destined Rivals. I was looking on, I don't know if it was X or I think it was X, scrolling through X the other day, and somebody was super excited because they got the Salamence and Reshiram EX box, which features, I think it's 5 Destined Rivals packs and 5 Surging Sparks packs. They were just happy they found something. Like, they were just really happy that they were able to go out to a store and find a box. And somebody commented, it was like the top comment, and said, that's because nobody wants those. Nobody wants Surging Sparks. Nobody wants Destined Rivals. Those packs are all over the place. And I just like froze for a second. I was just really dumbfounded at the ignorance and the response that I saw on this person's post. First of all, they're all excited just to find something at MSRP. So like, yeah, that's great. Like, that's awesome. In a market where it's been very difficult to find anything for the past, 9 months or so out on store shelves, to find anything in general outside of a battle deck is probably a win for a lot of people. And then to call Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals over with is just mind-blowing to me, because Surging Sparks is still a banger of a set. Yeah, I can understand a little bit how those packs have probably been opened a lot by a lot of people out there, but there's still a lot of people who haven't opened any Surging Sparks, or like not anywhere near the amount of Surging Sparks that they would like to open up, because as soon as Surging Sparks came out, things blew up, right? Like, you had the release of Pokemon Pocket and things just became nuts. So to sit there and say nobody wants those sets is just crazy to me. And then on top of it, to say the same thing with Destined Rivals. I love Destined Rivals. I think Destined Rivals is a fantastic set and will be a loved set for a very, very long time. But that comment to me shows the ignorance of, I have no idea who this person is. I have no idea when they entered the hobby. I have no idea the reasoning behind them entering the hobby. And it's probably unfair for me to generalize what I think they're in the hobby for. But my automatic assumption is that somebody who says this is really only in the hobby for money, and really only says stuff like this because they only want what the hottest items are, which right now is probably what, like Fantasma Flames. Like, that's what people are chasing. Fantasma Flames is like a product right now that you can buy and flip immediately, that you can scalp to high heaven. Like, that's apparently what people are looking for, and that's like the generalization of what this person is commenting, saying, nope, you failed. Cool that you got a Reshiram and I mean, it's not even cool. I'm not even going to comment about how that's cool. Like, I'm not even going to say anything about that. Just the reason you found that is because nobody wants that set. Like, that's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. So I wanted to look at Destined Rivals because it is starting to retrace quite a bit when it comes to singles. And if you have been patient, we've been talking about this for a long time now. Patience is going to pay off, and patience is something that a lot of us who have been around in the hobby for a long time have learned to build up, knowing that eventually things will get back to somewhat normal levels. We might not see MSRP for over a year yet, but we will continue to see products selling for closer to MSRP. We will continue to get more opportunities to be able to buy stuff at or below MSRP, and if not for the next year, okay, we'll just continue focusing on singles as we watch all of these prices continue to drop a little bit here and there. And it's a roller coaster, like it's always going to be. I'm not saying that it's going to go down forever. Like, it's going to dip, it's going to go up, it's going to dip, it's going to go up. But as long as you're being patient and you're buying when the dip happens, like, that's really when you need to start paying attention to what's going on in the hobby and what's going on in the market, and just making sure that you make the best decision to spending when it comes to spending your collection dollars. That comment just like took me out of my current headspace, the headspace about like what I was focusing on. about it, and I just sat there for like 5 minutes, just dumbfounded look on my face, probably like, who says something like that? Like Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals, nobody wants those. Like, I still like opening Destined Rivals and Surging Sparks every Wednesday for pack breaks. I just think they're fun sets to open. Like, it doesn't always have to be about money, and it boggled my mind. So let's go look at Destined Rivals. Also, we are about a week and a half away from our Fantasma Flames Master Set giveaway. So we are giving this Master Set to one lucky subscriber. We do this every single set release. We fill up a Master Set with every single common, uncommon, every illustration rare, every special illustration rare, even the gold Charizard. They're all in here. Everything is in here. The Unlucky Collector on Instagram puts together a really cool designed artwork binder for us to build the Master Set out of, and then we give it to one lucky subscriber. So we did that with Fantasma Flames. We'll do it again with Mega Dream. But if you want to win this one, all you got to do is just hit that subscribe button down below. So scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and then there's a video. I'll put the thumbnail image right up here, and I'll link it in the description. You just have to leave a like and a comment on that video. Boom, you are entered. We're announcing the winner next Friday, which is December 5th. So make sure to scroll down, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment, and then come back next Friday to see if you are the winner. Good luck. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. I'm still bad at this, like this whole YouTube thing. I'm still not great at. I just realized that I never turned my microphone on for that first intro section. So you probably just heard like the sound level probably just changed a lot. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I just forget to do stuff, and I don't have the time to go back and re-record the entire intro. So we're just going to run with it. I'm sorry. I failed already in this video, but that's all right. You learn from your mistakes. You digress. You move forward, and hopefully I won't make that mistake again, but I just didn't turn on my mic. It's all right. Okay, so looking at Destined Rivals, yeah, booster packs have dropped in price. This is awesome. Booster packs are supposed to be $4.50. This is a set that just came out. This is a set that's going to be in format for competitive play for over a year. Like, literally, this set will be around for a long time. It will be around in collection boxes. Players will need to get the cards in this set. Yeah, they don't have to open packs, but there needs to be more packs opened up so more cards can hit the secondary market, so more players can get access to cards that they need. As people come and enter to play competitively, maybe they go to their local league and learn for the first time, and they really want to build Cynthia's Garchomp, we need to make sure that there's additional cards out there so that way they can build their Cynthia's Garchomp deck, or their Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck, or who knows, maybe Mewtwo will become a thing in the future, and that way more Destined Rivals, more cards from the set being put out there in the single form, like that gives more availability for people. So Destined Rivals has gone down and booster pack price is great. It's still $2.40 $2.40 above MSRP, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it dropping. That's fine. Like, Destined Rivals, like I said, going to be out for a long time, and they did do a good job of starting to put more of it out there. I hope they continue to put more of it out there, whether it be in collection boxes or a large reprint of some sort involving booster boxes and elite trainer boxes. Destined Rivals is starting to come down in price. Over the last 3 months, it's down 12.5%, but if you really just focus on the last month and a half, end of September, beginning of October, when it hit $9.15, like, it's down almost 30% since that point in time. So over the last month and a half, down about 30%. And you can't sit here and tell me that nobody likes it, because look at how it's done over the last few weeks as far as supply sales go. So the amount of product that's moving, you're looking at over 400 booster packs that have sold, what is that, the middle of November, and then another 500 booster packs that sold, and then over the last week, 300 booster packs that have sold. That's way more than what there was in August, in September. Like, it's actually starting to sell a little bit more because people are like, okay, well, at least it's getting closer and closer to that point. But those Reshiram and Salamence EX boxes, it's great that they've got half of them are Destined Rivals. Half of the pack selection in there is Destined Rivals. I think that's awesome. So starting to trend downward, which is a really good sign. And singles are following suit. Now, the Mewtwo continues to still be extremely expensive, coming in at $469.99. And it's still up over 38% over the past 3 months. We did see Destined Rivals really start gaining a lot of momentum not too long after release. Typically what you see is you see a set release, and then about a month after release is really when you want to start paying attention to singles. It kind of worked backwards with Destined Rivals. So Destined Rivals came out, it was super expensive right out of the gate, started climbing a little bit, and then really started shooting up in August and September, and that's when you saw this card hit $582.72. Now, the good thing is it's lost almost 15% of that value over the last month. So it continues to trend
trend down. It's not moving as fast as what it did 3 months ago. You can see end of August, even into the end of September, it was selling 10 to 12 copies, every couple of days. Now it's only selling between 2, 4, 6 copies. And the great thing is TCG Player offering this Black Friday deal into Cyber Monday, where this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're going to be able to get an additional 10% cash back or 10% TCG Player store credit on all your purchases. So if this continues to go down, might be the time to pick it up. Honestly, I would probably continue to wait a little bit because I don't see this card continuing to climb above $500. And even if it does in the short interim after this TCG Player deal hits, because you will see that it's going to create kind of a false market, because we're going to see this large amount of sales. Market prices are going to start trending upward for a lot of cards. It will probably dip back down, especially as more product hits the secondary market and more people are focused on sets like Mega Dream. You can already see a lot of people being like, well, that set looks bad anyways. I don't want that set anymore. Nobody wants Destined Rivals anymore, obviously, from the story that I told in the introduction. And as those people stop collecting Destined Rivals and stop buying up those singles, they start dropping down a little bit more in price. Here's that special illustration rare Cynthia's Garchomp, and I'll try going through these relatively quickly. This one at $321.65 at the beginning of October. Obviously quite a bit up from its $211.51 3-month low, but now it's trended downward quite a bit. So it's sitting at $243.28. I mean, that's almost 25% that has dropped now over the past month and a half and continuing to go down. The Ethan's Ho-Oh EX, end of August, it was sitting at $165.79. It trended all the way up to about $242.14, and now it's getting closer to that 3-month low, currently sitting at $191.41. So yeah, it's still up 15% over the past 3 months, but if you look at what it's lost in the last month and a half, again, you're looking at about 30% that it's dropped now over the past month and a half, 25%. So definitely trending in the right direction. Here's the Team Rocket's Moltres EX. This one has been hit for a multitude of reasons. Number one, we're expecting this GameStop drop of the Team Rocket's Moltres UPC, which has the same exact copy, just a stamped version of it, which some collectors obviously prefer the stamped version as opposed to the original version. Some people prefer both of them, but it definitely impacted this special illustration rare quite a bit. You can see 3 months ago it was sitting right around 130. It did climb like what we saw from a lot of these other special illustration rares, and it jumped all the way up to 166, but it's lost all of that. Now it's at its lowest point it's ever been. It's down to 114.91, so it's down 13% over the past 3 months, but really, if you zoom in and only look at the last month and a half of data, again, down 30%, so continuing to drop really, really hard. A lot of singles in the market right now are down 20%. A lot of Destined Rivals singles are down even more than that, down over 30%. And I believe that's it for $100 cards in the set. You just have 4 of them, and you used to have a lot more, including this Team Rocket's Nidoking, which was well over $100 at one point in time. You can see at the end of August, it was at $99, or it was at $105. Started climbing quite a bit. In the middle of October, it was at $141.04. So it really exploded. But now, despite the fact that it's still selling the same quantity, a lot of people kind of adding their extra singles to the secondary market. So it's still selling the same volume. It's just a race to the bottom as far as the sales go. So it continues to drop. Now it's sitting at $99.36. So it's down 6% over the past 3 months, but it's lost $42 worth of value, which is over 30% over the last month and a half and continuing to trend downward. Here's the Team Rocket's Crobat EX. At the end of August, it was sitting at $77.13. Like these other cards, saw some really strong growth. Started its descent a little bit earlier. So at the beginning of October, it was sitting at $105.55, kind of leveled off at that point throughout the middle of October, and then started trending downward. And now over the last month and a half, it's lost quite a bit of its value. It's lost about $27, almost $30, down to $88.50. So it's lost about 25% again on top of where it was. So definitely trending downward, which is really good for people who want the set. Here's the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. The gold cards were getting a ton of attention for quite a while, a few months. And I do like the gold cards. I do like the silhouette. I do like the trainer in the background. I think it looks really cool. End of October, this was sitting at $72.41. And look what it's done over the last 3 months. It's just completely dropped. Not really seeing the spikes, the peaks, the valleys like what we saw with some of these other cards that we just looked at. It's just been a steady downward trend. Now it's down to $58.27, so down about 19.5% over the past 3 months, continuing to go in the wrong direction, which makes it great for people who are waiting to pick up singles. Ethan's Adventure, the special illustration rare, a cool looking card with Cyndaquil, Slugma in the background, obviously Pichu riding on Ethan's shoulder there. At the beginning of September, middle of September, it was sitting at $48.39. We saw quite a bit of a climb, like what we did with some of these other ones, jumped up to $62.64, but it's lost all of that. Now it's really close to where it was 3 months ago, sitting at $51.05 currently. So relatively flat now over the past 3 months. But if you look at what it's done over the past month and a half, it's lost about 20%. So continuing to trend downward, which is really good. The Misty Psyduck, which was the most expensive illustration rare in the set and continues to trend downward. So the end of August, it was at $49.58, or it was at $53, which is basically a little bit higher than where it is right now. And then we started seeing it shoot up a little bit. It wasn't necessarily getting manipulated. A lot of people were paying more attention to it. It just wasn't getting replaced on the secondary market because not as many people were opening up Destined Rivals. You got to remember, at one point in time, booster boxes had shot up to about $500. You don't have a lot of people opening up Destined Rivals at $500 a booster box, and there weren't a lot of collection boxes that were released that had Destined Rivals packs in them. So now that we actually have that, where Destined Rivals is coming out in those collection boxes, more and more product is getting released, more and more product is getting opened, and these cards are starting to fall in price. So this one hit $75.73, and now if you look what it's done over the past 2 months, it's just gone down. So it's down 6% over the past 3 months, but really if you just look back at the last month and a half, it's down 30%. It's down about $20, $26 over the last month and a half, which is really good for people who are waiting to buy singles. Team Rocket's Giovanni, this special illustration rare, started out a little bit more expensive. You can see end of August it was sitting right around $46. Started to see that dip right away and then climb back up to about $47. And now over the last 2.5 months, it's just gone down. It's down about 18%, a little bit more than that over the last 2 months, but down 18% overall over the past 3 months. It's currently sitting at $37.56 and continuing to trend downward. The Ethan's Ho-Oh saw this meteoric rise from $30.31 up about 30% to $39.14 middle of October, and then it's like it ran into a wall and just crashed. Now it's lost pretty much all of that value back. Almost all 30% that it gained is gone. It's only up about 6.5% now over the past 3 months, sitting at $32.32 and continuing to trend downward. Here's the Arvin's Mabostiff special illustration rare, kind of similar to what we just saw with the gold Ho-Oh there. End of August, it was sitting at $30.44, jumped all the way up to $44.07 at the beginning of October. Again, still selling pretty similar amounts as far as the quantity of sales go, but just a continuous race to the bottom as people continue to offload their duplicates and their extras and maybe putting their money into a different area or a different part of the hobby. Now it's lost everything that it's gained. So it gained about 40%, and now it's lost all of it. It's up 5% over the past 3 months in total. It hit $44.07. Now it's sitting at $31.98. So that's a pretty decent drop there. Ethan's Typhlosion was relatively flat, gained a little bit of ground end of August all the way up until the middle of November or middle of October. It hit about $40.18, but it's lost almost 40% of its value. So once it hit that $40 mark, it dropped like crazy. Now it's down to $25.27. Really cool card. A lot of really cool artworks in Destined Rivals. That's why I don't get why anybody would say nobody wants it anymore. It's down to $25.27, so that's about a 31% drop. The Misty's Lapras, another cool illustration rare, was gaining some momentum like what we saw from some of those special illustration rares. The end of August, it was sitting right around $32, jumped all the way up to $43.12. But now look at how far it's dropped, from $43.12 all the way down to $24. So losing about half its value, almost 50% of a drop now over the past 2 months, down to $24.14 and continuing to trend downward. And the last one we're going to look at is one of my favorite cards in the set. And you can see it did get bought out. So this is the Team Rocket's Meowth right here. End of August, it was sitting right around $28, stayed flat for about a month. And then we saw this giant increase in sales where it jumped all the way up to $37.37. Then it dropped, leveled off a little bit, and then dropped even more. So it's down about 26% over the last 3 months. But if you look at its 1-year high, where it was at $37.37, now it's come all the way back down to $20.34. So another card that's dropped about 45% over the past month and a half and continuing to trend downward. And with all these Black Friday deals going on and all the additional collection boxes that are going to be hitting the secondary market over the next month and a half, this price right here might continue to come down, which is what I think a lot of people are looking for. They just want to open up some packs at MSRP. So maybe we can see some Destined Rivals, some Fantasma Flames, some Mega Evolution, some packs that are close to MSRP, maybe between $4, $4.50, even $5 a piece. I think a lot of people would be more encouraged about that. Forget about booster boxes. Who cares about that right now? Let's just take one thing at a time. So it's great to see some of these cards being a little bit more available out there, and then hopefully just being passed on because nobody nobody likes those sets anymore, apparently. So really cool to see. Good time to be paying attention to what's going on in the singles market, so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. And like I said, with the deal going on this weekend on TCG Player, be careful, because some stores will up their prices just to take account for that 10%. But it's important to remember that, you know, there could be some good deals out there. And also over next week is the time. Next week is the time where you kind of just sit back and you just let the market correct a little bit, because it is going to have this false market, this false sense where all of a sudden some of these cards shoot up in price as they reset, because we start seeing the results of, you know, that 10% cash back. So I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm, but ultimately, thank you just for being here. I love you guys. We'll be back on Friday with another video. Till next time, peace.